All right, and now we have Jimmy Gleason, who works at UTPA. You're a professor of political science, right?
Correct.
Okay, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. And you're here to break down what's coming up next. So what is a runoff?
The runoff election will be held on May 27th, and it is a contest between the two top vote getters in a race where someone failed to acquire 50% in the primary.
So you're saying it's more than 51% of the vote, right? If there's like 3 or 4 candidates, you have to get a certain amount.
Exactly. For example, in the lieutenant governor's race, the two top vote getters in the Republican race failed to get 50%, so they will be in a statewide runoff, and that will be conducted in May.
Okay, and what is the general election? That's coming up in November.
The general election is a process where the winner of the primaries, the Democratic and the Republican primaries, face off, and then the winner of that is officially the elected individual. In a situation such as the Hidalgo County District Attorney's race, where there is no Republican running in the fall, the Democratic candidate will actually be on the ballot, will receive votes, and it's by virtue of that win that they will actually become the elected official. But in a race where you have 2 candidates from the major parties running, then that is when that race will be decided. And
so are runoffs pretty common when you have like a certain amount of candidates, say 3, 4, 5? Is it pretty common?
Absolutely, and I think if you look at the races both locally and statewide, that the majority of them that had more than 3 candidates, or that had 3 candidates or more, actually go into the runoff phase. Of course, where you have long-established incumbents, oftentimes they're able to avoid a runoff and win by greater than 50% in just the primary election.
And we saw some people get unseated this time, long-time running candidates like Renee Guerra, but that was just a 2-person vote. So, like you said, Ricardo Rodriguez coming up, there will not be a runoff. So in the general election, he has no opponent.
Right.
Okay, and so why is it so important to vote?
Well, it's important to vote for a number of reasons. The cliche is that if you don't vote, you don't get your voice heard, and I think that there's a lot of truth to that. And frankly, elections are important. Elections matter. It is interesting to watch the process and to see the willingness of people to change and at the same time maintain a high level of continuity. And we saw that both of those things occurring in the election yesterday. We saw some incumbents win, we saw some incumbents lose, and in the case of the lieutenant governor, we see that he finished second and will be facing an uphill battle in the runoff.
All right, Jimmy, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Always a pleasure to see you. We'll head over to Victoria with some more weather.